you remember that time you when I went to South Shields and we were out there seeing Paul and you used to take the piss because I used to turn up with my gear in a plastic bag.
No. Serious?
You don't remember that?
Nah, in a plastic bag.
It's one of my crowning memories of you.
Oh, yeah, of course I do.
Because you actually
and the man
came
didn't
in.
even own a phone.
Because you came in one day and you went, sorry, mate, I've got you a new bag. I said, yeah, really? He's like, yeah, mate, you can't be bringing a plastic bag.
Getting about a
So
carrier bag.
look at this one, bit of an upgrade. You bought me a bag for life. Do you remember? Well, I love that. Bag for life.
We'd always end up at the back chatting.
I never had a I run my life with that little smashed iPad.
Yeah, you did. A man with no phone.
Then what a
What do
days.
you mean you don't get about with no phone? How does anyone get audio? Well,
They don't.
they don't. Like, the fuck do you mean they don't? My worst nightmare.
They
not
don't.
being able to someone to get hold of me
They don't.
or have a phone.
Yeah, they just don't get
It's
hold of me.
like, is Malvern like still in the fucking dark ages or something?
Oh, mate. I think
Malvern.
I was in the dark ages. I mean, I think we have had some fun times, though. I mean, we've done some cool stuff, haven't we?
About Malaga when Richard Stock and he broke his finger in that thing. And I was only looking at a picture of a day. He's in about 3 different places. Like, boys, unstoppable bastard. His fucking fingers fighting that way.
You got to find your...
And then I went to California on the, what's that
With
beach?
Richard Stott again.
Yeah,
Stott,
he
he's
was getting
brilliant.
smashed in the face, turning around, his blood everywhere. I'm like, mate, everywhere I go with you, he seems to have
He
some type
really,
of accident.
he really helped me financially, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, giving me advice.
I think
This
he
thing
fell
is
out
one
on
of
me
them
'cause I
things,
was-
mate. I look at back and think, I was in those rooms at 27, 28. You don't realise, now I look back and go, that's quite young, really. And I was in rooms, you were much older than me, 33, 34 probably at the time.
How old are you?
I'm 38,
Yeah, I'm 41.
so 3 years older than
30,
me.
31, yeah.
Yeah, so you were over your 30s.
Yeah,
but I was 28, and like you're around people like Richard Stott and that, saying, hey, look, you want to think financially, you want to,
Yeah.
you know, look at this for your future and stuff. And you're like, because you respect them because they're older.
Yeah, of course.
And, you know, you're like, yeah, great, that was his job, you know. He's a big investor.
Mm.
Been around for years, family wealth. He gave me so much advice then, and then he came out. I suppose, I realise we were waffling on here, but getting around those people early and getting a bit of older heads around you. Do you know what I mean? People who had some good knowledge
Yeah.
and wisdom to pass down to you. Big deal. I think finding your tribe. That's what we're talking about now.
Yeah, well, I said in a previous podcast, like, sometimes change. And we tell people early on, like, look, you'll start making some changes and people are probably going to try and hold you back. And it'll probably be, like, the closest to you that do it, right? But also, as you evolve and people don't, I had some guilt around that. I realised, it's not that I'm leaving them behind, it's that they ain't making steps.
Yeah.
But I remember there was a point I was thinking, Jesus, there's no one at the table. And all of a sudden, people like you sat sitting there and Paul and, you know, all these other type of people. And the whole circle changes and it'll change again, right? Some people stick all the way through it. And some people, I just say for a chapter. But to think around, especially the industry was starting to start, it was thriving and at a point when it was starting to take off.
Huge industry.
Especially to have that many type of men, which was unheard of, to start being vulnerable and open up, which over here I didn't see nothing. There might have been other things like it, but there was nothing in terms of the men that were there, the discussions that we
I
was having.
believe it's a strong, having a decent community around you is vital for anyone, man or woman.
Yeah.
Like, to have people around you. And I think having people outside of your family is crucial. I said this ages ago, a little post. I think a big problem in well-being is a lack of a third place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lack of a third place, particularly in a man's life. We don't cultivate it as well as women.
Like,
Well, you know, you've got work.
yeah.
So, for example, me and you, Mark, right now, working.
Yeah.
It's great, but we're working, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you've got your family. Probably you go home and that's great. But to have nothing outside of those two identities, I think is a big struggle. Like back in the day, if I'm talking from a man's perspective, maybe men went to the pub, you know, and maybe men played a lot of sport, you know, and maybe there's men still doing that. That's great. But I've found I've grown apart from a lot of my friends Not because they're bad or I'm bad, but it's like, wow, life got busy. I got a family, I got a job, and all of a sudden, I've got less time. I'm not making as much time for that. And you sort of meander along and realize, like, where is everyone? Do you know what I mean? And I just think
Yeah.
a third place. And I think a third place has to have people. I very often say, "Oh, where's your third place?" Oh, mine's, the woods. I love walking in the woods. It's like, yeah, I get it. That's an environment. But where's your place? Where else do you belong?
Yeah.
Like Mark, keep talking about Mark. He's off camera here, living a dream, main producer, top man. But it's like probably as an identity as possibly being a drummer. It's like I've got this
Yeah.
other thing rather
Yeah.
than parent, partner, business owner. It's like what else? Where's my third place? I think when I was younger, I had a gym.
Yeah.
I went there and I was like, you knew everyone. You trained. You had a protein shake after them little chats.
Yeah.
Third place, but I belong somewhere. A lack of that, fucking killer.
Yeah. Well, just a life with a lack of fun and anything novel is going to have that issue in it, But no, I fully back you because you can see it panning out everywhere. You taught me this third place. But I realised I already had it in, you know what I mean? Thai boxing was a great third place for me, and I learned a lot from there. A lot of people that I met there didn't really connect with them outside of that. Football, maybe sports as well. That's when people come together. Look, remember we went to Old Trafford and watched the game. You loved that time of your life. But even though friends, work, all that stuff, even being in that environment in a third place,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
But I just think having somewhere to go is massive. I think I suppose what I'm trying to articulate is changing things is can be lonely, but just life in general can get a bit lonely. You can find yourself isolated without realising.
Yeah, back
I think
yourself into a
COVID
corner.
did that a lot in a way with lockdown. You
Yeah.
just look around, you think, bloody hell, like, who have I got?
Yeah,
Where am I at?
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, where's my people? I think finding your people.
and I think
It's
people
cool.
coming out of COVID are starting to realise that, right? That they'd
Yeah.
lost that sense, that, wait, what? Jesus, I was just working.
Everyone said they weren't going to work again.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Every fucker said that. Be honest,
But it's all
everyone's like,
changed,
oh,
isn't it?
mate, this is a new direction. I don't want to be working as much. All of a sudden, it's like,
Back in the pattern.
everyone's, it doesn't take long to get back into the rhythmic nature of life where you go,
What's
"I'm
dangerous
working."
about that is that they know that it's actually now more soul destroying than they was aware of before it, right?
Yeah, true story. I think, yeah, and also the reality of life, you're like, oh, I've got some bills to pay here. Probably should be
sure.
working more than 3 days a week.
So where's your third place at the minute?
Pub. I'm not even joking.
Everybody knows you in the pub, though.
I'm
eh?
not even joking.
Who's say?
I'm not even joking. I love a pub.
Yeah,
I realise it's fashionable now to not drink alcohol, and more credit to anyone who wants to do that. Amazing.
Yeah,
I
but-
also realise that alcohol is not that great for you in massive consumption or even small. But do you know what? I love going to the pub. I love chatting to the barman. I love meeting people. I love people telling me their stories.
yeah,
I love all of that. And someone could say, well, you can go there and not have a drink. And you think, yeah, I could, but I also enjoy a pint. Like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, shoot me now. Like, I must be a terrible person.
Yeah.
I enjoy a beer.
But when it's used like that, I mean, that's the thing about a pub. People think pub and just think, oh, get wasted. It's
Yeah,
just a
get-
place
get
to go
smashed.
wasted.
Yeah.
And you forget, I grew up in pubs. Mum's one of 17. I mean, the whole family would have to go to a pub just to see each other, cousins running. I love that environment.
They were hubs of
Mate,
of a community.
You
Yeah.
used to have a room called a family room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, it's where my best memories are. It's where relationships were formed. It's where connections were made. And even, people to this day, you know them from the pub and you don't see them for 20 years and you speak to them as if you didn't see them,
Yeah.
for that amount of time.
But you meet different people in there.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I love about
With all
it.
stories,
You're
right?
like, who's someone
Plus a
just
game
come
of
in
pool,
for a
right?
pint and having a laugh.
Yeah, good
Just
game
to
of
chat.
pool.
Hey, what's your story?
Yeah.
Like, it's a
But
chat
your
about that.
pubs are cool. You got like log fires in them and all that. You didn't get that in my city.
Yeah, but I just like that. And I like that sense of just being around different people. I think it's important to be around different people. You know this about me. I get bored to death being around personal development junkies after a while. And I don't mean that nastily. I just mean like, can we just drop the
This
chat
shit.
and just talk about life? You know that.
Mm.
I love it. I love being around people like that. But at
Yeah.
the same time, like, well, can't we just talk about life? Why we have to talk about work all the time?
Yeah.
you know,
The
or
rules
it'll
would
break lifetime.
Yeah, we can't go that.
You can't drink.
Yeah.
Stop drinking.
The rule about personal development: don't talk about real life.
Yeah. We're like, no. So I love going to the pub. That's one of my
But
third
it is a
places.
place where it's like anyone can turn up, right?
The gym is not a third place for me,
Why? Because it sits in that category, right?
but I don't talk to people there.
Oh, I get it.
I'm like, I'm getting in, I'm
Yeah,
getting
I
out, I'm
understand.
getting in a spa. I'll
But it
pass
could
the
be a
time of
third
day.
place, isn't it?
It could be a
Because out
third
of the
place,
sauna, end up putting the Will's rights in.
but
those
it's not
guys.
my third place.
Yeah, yeah.
I find something reassuring about being in a pub. Maybe it reminds me of growing up. I
Yeah.
just like it.
Yeah,
and
me too.
And I like going in and, hey, sorry, what you been up to? Ah, not a lot. What about you? Oh God, you know, a little chat, bit of banter back and forth, quick pint with the dog. Catch you later. See you
Man,
in a
that's
week.
something about you I've only discovered recently, right? Although you like a pint, when was the last time you was pissed?
11 years ago.
Why are you so certain? I mean, you remember being pissed?
Because a
or something?
memory come up on my feed, and I remember that was the last time I got pissed.
That's, you know.
Picture of me. So I went to this family do. yeah. What, you were Saturday? Oh, right, we meant me. I went to this family do in Kent, in-laws family. And I went, and at that point in my life, I was afraid to drink, because if I drunk, I got drunk,
Yeah.
and I did some stupid shit, and then I felt terrible and shameful and regretful, and then I didn't drink again for a month, and then I got smashed again. It was this extreme cycle, and so. And I've always been like that since young, and it's destructive when you think about it. Drinking to the point of oblivion is destructive, I think, and it's worse than just having a couple of beers here and there. So I went to this family do, and we were having lunch at someone's house. They said, let's go to the pub quickly. Yeah, no worries. Hot summer day. They had this Robinson's cider on pump. Now my old man is a professional drinker, or was, and that's the way I look to call that. And he's like, you stay off of cider. If you eat a pickle you, it's no good for you. It's like, yeah, all right. Anyway, summer's day. It's like apple juice.
Yeah.
Still.
Put a bit of ice in it.
Couple of pints, no food. Yeah, great, we'll stay here. Chap there he's in his 70s, I think, reminded me of my dad. He was a relative somehow. He was just like my dad. Have another one. We had a few pints. Anyway, I'm in the bar and they're like, we got to get back and have lunch. And obviously, I walk outside. It hits you in the air, doesn't it? Mate, there's a picture of me. I'm in a white T-shirt. I've fallen over on the edge. I'm being carried home by this 70-year-old bloke. Blood all over me.
Jesus.
Right? Missed the lunch. Upstairs. Pissed all over someone's bed. Because, if I used to get drunk, I used to pee in random
someone.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sick. I think I started crying. Woke up the next day and you go, looking round, you're like, fucking hell. What was the point of that? And I just made the decision. I was like, I'm not getting drunk. Oh, I went, I'm never drinking again,
Yeah.
as we all do.
Oh, the
I'm
other
never
extreme,
drinking again. Because drink. But then drink became such a big thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a better rule. It was probably a year later. I was like, I'm just never going to be drunk again. Which takes an element, I think, of self-control in a way.
Of course it does.
So it's like, I know my limit. I'll have a pint here, a couple of pints. I like a glass of wine with a meal. I like having a few. Well, we go up, like when we go to Glasgow, we're at the meal.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's get some live music.
Yeah.
Had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
Went
done.
home.
Yeah.
Nice little buzz. But
And you
went home.
enjoy it way more, right?
Just, it's knowing that I just never want to feel smashed again.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's my little rule. So it was 11 years ago. So I have preferred to find a balance with alcohol as opposed to make it this evil thing and blame it, But I realise some people can't do that. And I'm like, I know some people are going, no, I have to just never drink again. That's like, that's fine. That's your way. That's
course.
fine. And maybe you need to do that. But I didn't need to do that. But I certainly needed to find a better balance. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, bang on. You're doing it for the reasons that you enjoy rather than having to, lose control and get smashed. I can drink, man. I got that Irish blood. I can definitely drink. But very rarely I've ever found myself like thinking, only because of the way it makes me feel, not the way I've acted. Because to be fair, it brings out a love inside of me. I'm a happy drunk, you know what I mean? Except Ciroc. I don't know if you know about Ciroc. That shit. Well, it's like Ribena and it's vodka, so that's some strong
stealth
shit.
spirits.
Man, I
Couple of
once said,
ales, few gins. I'm all right. That's enough.
hey, I mean, where's the world gone now? Here's us drinking gins, all different type of flavoured gins. I thought gin was hanging until I pointed it with lemonade, and I realised it was a tonic. I
Mate,
had an issue with.
This is the man who comes to the the Christmas party. No, it wasn't a Christmas party. When did you come down to? And we had a few drinks with Sarah.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It was Christmas.
No,
party.
it wasn't Christmas party. It was.
Oh, recent.
Did we have a little of a team day? And I said, let's go out.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go out. We
Yeah,
took
yeah,
us
yeah.
That nice,
Is this
that,
year?
that nice
Yeah.
restaurant pub.
Easter time, I think it was.
You ordered a porn star martini.
Yeah. Man, I love a porn star martini. The problem is with cocktails, right? They go quick. I can't sip that
I've never
shit.
seen you
I'm
look
gonna
so,
down it like a shot.
So different, so feminine.
Yeah.
He's drinking your porn
I
star
know.
martini. I was like,
Looking like a porn star.
what's he doing?
Man, I've become a snob on taste. I just love quality shit, quality food, quality drink.
I sit at the bar in the pub and people go, I'd like a gin. They say, which gin would you like? And you go, oh my God, it's like
I know.
500 gins.
I can't see for a coffee, like Flappuccino, Wappuccino, that, I'm like, just fucking coffee.
I caught
With-
myself
with
the other
milk.
day reading the paper. You go, game over. I've got to stop coming. I'm reading the paper at the end of the bar. How old am I again? How old are you,
Yeah.
Simon? I think I'm 70. I
Do you
don't
know
know.
what I'm a sucker for? People watching though. I'm in places like that, I'm always,
I've met some funny people up there, though.
yeah, I
Some
bet you're.
great people. You know, you're like, man, you hear all sorts of stories, don't you? And I think for some people, it's just like, if you imagine the older generation, a bit lonely, stuck at home, go to the pub, pass
Yeah.
the time of day with someone for an hour, probably makes their day.
Yeah.
So I always try and talk to people. You know, if people talk to you, I'm going to talk to them.
Oh man,
I'm not going to be like, oh, God, I just want to drink me pints. Like, no, I'll talk to you because I think you never know. If they're in on their own, they want to chat, maybe
yeah.
you're the only person they're going to talk to all day.
Sabbath day, Sunday's best in the pub.
Oh, mate, I can't do a Sunday in a pub because it's just,
It's where I'm.
Works,
It's
man.
like football is a working man's game. When he would go
yeah.
do work hard, get to the pub, have a pint, go and watch a game, do the thing, entertain themselves, and it starts bleeding out,
But then you get into personal development, Ben,
which you can't talk about.
and you
life.
can't go to the
You
pub
know,
on a
alcohol
Sunday. You stay at the
consumption.
pubs because unsuccessful people go to the pub, unhappy people go to the pub, people with poor well-being go to the pub. You can't go there anymore.
You know, you're
'Cause
right.
you got to be you're developing yourself now, and that's very, you can't do that. Okay, what you can do is obsessively masturbate over your thoughts every 5 minutes.
yeah,
That's fine.
yeah. And make sure that it's something positive comes out of that shit.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can
And
ridicule
don't share it with anybody.
anyone you want, but you
Yeah.
can't go to the pub. Then again, you go to these events. Most of the cool things happen after in the bar anyway.
I know. You're like,
So it's like,
what the fuck?
yeah.
So now we know you vanilla. You was actually strawberry all day. You know what I mean?
Vanilla's
I know.
fine. It's vanilla and strawberry. He's back with his vanilla
Yeah.
strawberry analogy. I don't even know what it means, but it just says good, man. He was
Yeah,
vanilla,
what do you
now
mean?
he's
It
strawberry.
fucking it explains it on the tin.
It's-
You're actually
I-
strawberry,
come on
really
now.
vanilla.
What element? I find that. I don't know how I find it. I don't know if I find it a bit patronising, a bit
Nah, you find
condescending.
it amusing.
I find it
It's gotta
amusing.
be.
I rat each to their own, like. But I hate when people ram down your throat what you should be doing. I hate that.
Yeah.
It's like this is the best way to be. It's like no, I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't like.
Hi,
anyone.
my name's Ben, and I help. Shut the fuck up.
Well, just no, it's like you got a certain. You can't be. You got to be like a certain way because that's the way.
Yeah.
This is the way. You didn't even get that, did you?
No, I do.
That's a Star Wars analogy, right
Well,
there.
fuck Star Wars,
This
but I
is the
know.
way.
I know what you're on
Mandalorian.
about.
It's
Well, it
like this
happens
is the
everything.
way.
It's like the fear missing out, the fear looking different, the fear being different, the fear of, well, I'm not in this personal development industry or any industry. It doesn't matter what industry it is. It all has some
Yeah, I
this
get.
issue.
I'm
you know what I
referring
mean?
to the old not being able to do things or having to do certain things, and there's millions of ways to skin a cat.
Well, there's always a million ways to deal with a situation, isn't there?
Yeah, so it's like, well, I find it a little bit when people start telling me what I should be doing, ramming it down my throat. I'm like, are you trying to convince me or are you trying to convince you?
That's a good point.
Like, why are you so intent on convincing me of a certain specific thing? Are you trying to convince yourself? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the message here? Hopefully, be yourself. That's the message. I'm gonna ram it. Maybe I'm trying to convince myself to be myself, but that's it. Be yourself. Be yourself. But if I'm like, well, be yourself, but get fucking in shape now. And my idea of in shape is shredded wheat, my friend, and then you'll be happy. Be like me. You might go, oh, what you said, be myself. I just want to be healthy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Who are we trying to convince?
Well, I ain't trying to convince anybody. I think that's where we're at. Like, that convincing game is draining. trying to convince people how they should be acting, how they should be thinking, how they should be feeling.
Where do we do it in our personal life? That's been a big battle. for
Well, I
both of us.
think the default will always be your kids, right? Because you saw mostly close ones. But I think, you know, this is where our journey has helped us in being a better parent. Because I'm always giving them options. I'm always giving them, you know, analogies or different ways of perspective looking at it, or give an own story, an own experience. And I think that's what the greatest way is giving them the options, right? Because no one responds well to being told, right? I mean, even from a place of love, if we see an overweight person, no disrespect to any overweight person, because I've been there, and I go over and say, listen, you're out of shape, you need to fix this right now. Even though it's probably valid and exactly what they need to hear, you know, being told like that. And we actually don't earn a right until someone asks us the question.
Exactly. That's why this comes up a lot, doesn't it? In
Yeah.
our work, in the sense of like you get, and we've all been there. You get your shit together a bit. You're like, I got my shit together. Like,
You try to tell
and
everybody
then you're
else.
like looking round, like, you need to get your shit together too. And then you start telling people how to live and how you're doing it. It always falls on deaf ears, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's like I think we often see someone struggling as well. I think we have to help them,
put their fire
but
out.
unless they ask for help,
Yeah,
they're not going to. Then you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I don't mean like they have to reach out and ask for help, but they have to. You know, if you come in and say, "Hey, this is what you need to be doing," most people here, you want me to be different. I
Yeah.
need to be different.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't. You know, it needs to be that skillful way that somebody has a conversation. Eventually, you.
I learned that
they
lesson the
become
hard
open.
way. I remember
Yeah.
coming home because I was passionate. I'm telling people what the fuck I'm doing. People, and I remember saying to Lisa, right, you need to get on this. And she looked one time and said, what the fuck's wrong with me? You keep telling me I need to do this shit. And I never looked at it that way. I was like, ain't nothing wrong with you. I'm just trying to give you what. She was like, well, I'm all right with it. I don't need to be. I was thought, you know, even from a place of love, my wife, she didn't even want to hear it, you know?
Well, the amount of people I used to get when we were in Unstoppable, Paul, like the amount of lads who go, because I was working with women solely then. Hey mate, you know my missus needs this. So fucking hell, you've been here 5 minutes.
I know.
You've been here 5 minutes and you've
Now you're
turned
connecting the dots.
you turned into the Dalai Lama because you've been away and meditated for 10 minutes and done a Byron Katie worksheet. Now I'm fucking coaching your wife.
I know. You sure about this?
Does she want me to coach?
I know.
her? Yeah.
You know, here's Si. I want you to coach him. What the fuck is this guy now?
Yeah.
You brought in.
Who is he? The plastic bag.
Oh, the opposite.
Fucking him in his plastic bag.
You start getting better and then they start getting insecure. Like, I think you need to stop coaching with Si. You've got more confidence. You're in
changed.
shape.
You've changed.
Yeah.
You're
You're answering
challenging
back.
You're challenging me
I
on my
know.
bullshit.
What the fuck's this new you? I don't want a new you. It doesn't match with the you I wanted you to be. Yeah. Simon, I think you need to stop coaching my wife.
You need to do a worksheet on
I
this.
know. Do you remember, like, we've been there. I'm not going to say no names, but there was that coach and he said, I think you need to leave her. And he was like, yeah, you're right. I need to leave her. He's gone home and said, I'm leaving you, bitch. And then next minute, I don't think I should have left her. Then he's back, the back eye, like, and then he's trying to make amends, and then he's trying to blame the guy that told him to do it. And then she's like, well, you're a fucking coward. You told your coach tell you to leave him. And he's like, mate, that was a bad move, wasn't it? Yeah, don't let anybody. That is the epiphany of what a coach shouldn't be right there. You know what I mean?
The thing is, though, we get this on Q&As. Like, what should I do in my relationship? I don't know. I don't know you.
I get it all the
You're
time.
just a random person.
Yeah.
But I suppose what you realise is, that's in a sense when it's coming from a randomer, not in a coaching thing. You're like, well, obviously you haven't got anyone to talk to or you're not sure.
Yeah.
I personally believe the right thing to be doing is helping them figure it out themselves.
Massively.
Not going, well, here's how I'd solve it. Because you're only coming from your own personal perspective, you know, and you don't know everyone that's involved, do you?
No.
I could never say, yeah, you need to go back up and break up there. Like, and just,
I know.
Yeah. Why? Well, you know, you don't seem happy. So I could never say that. I'd have to ask them some questions or encourage them to look at some things or have some conversations before making such a transformative
I know.
decision. But mate,
I'm going to make that decision for you.
You've made me
I know.
laugh because I used to get that so much with like, you know, I've told my missus, I've told her, I've gave her the Byron Katie book to read. So fuck it.
Oh, imagine
I'm sure
that.
that went down well.
I know.
Yeah.
Who the fuck's Byron
You know
Katie?
those things you think about me?
Yeah.
Well, really, you think them about you. No, I actually think them about you.
Yeah, you're a dick.
Yeah, but it's a projection. Yeah, it might be a projection, but also
Yeah,
you're
you
a
took the
twat. You know, like, oh, mate.
You remember that time I come to you, I was like, nah. And it was the issue with like a family member that was drinking. And he was like, fuck. No, you want them to stop. So you feel better. And I was like, what the fuck? That was
well,
a
you
real
did.
I remember that moment, and it's helped me so many times. I mean, it's helping me right now. It's sometimes it's not just a skill; it's actually awareness, the reflection, going, you just want them to do that thing to make you feel better. And although that is valid, and I did, what I can't do is depend on them to do the thing in hope that I feel better. Which actually led to a conversation. Honest conversation. It did help him stop. For a good period of
I
time.
think I mean, it's in all of us. We look at people we care about struggling, it hurts us.
Of course.
And we want to stop hurting as much as we want to stop them struggling. I think it's a mixture of both. It's difficult. How many questions do we get about kids now? Or people coming in the 5 day, I'm here because my kid, can they watch as well? They're 14. You're like, well, as long as they don't, you're okay to the fact I'm going to swear a bit and whatever.
There's going to be some loose language.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to use some adult topics.
Yeah.
But if you're happy with that, I mean, 14-year-olds probably going to teach me a thing or two, to be fair,
man.
about language and stuff. So, it's not as if they're 10. But yeah, I feel I'd hate for my kids to be in that situation, really, where they're struggling. I'd hate to watch it, knowing I have most of the answers, but they won't want them off me.
No. And why should you? You then rob them of the opportunity, don't you?
Well, they don't want them off me. It'd be off someone else.
Yeah, probably go and speak to Uncle B.
Yeah, it'd be like somebody they look at in their life and go, yeah, I think they got the answers. Like, yeah, I got the answers. Yeah, but you're my dad. You shut up. You can't have the answers.
Well, that's another thing. Like, everyone wants the answer and don't want to fucking earn it.
Well, that's the trouble with information, in the sense it's so free and it's so readily available that it's actually not valuable, is it? It's cheap.
Yeah, it really is.
That's why I struggle to.
But inside of that information, there isn't cheap information, right?
Oh God, no! It's gold.
That's a fuck up.
It's gold. But if you had to earn that little nugget, you listen more. You know that. The thing you generally invest more time, energy, and money into, you generally tend to pay more attention to.
Yeah.
And respect more.
Of course.
The thing that's kind of given or thrown in front of you, it's hard to have so much respect for that information. It's harder, I think. Everyone knows what to do. Well, that's a lie. Everyone knows things they can do. So they're like, the world, UK's more obese than ever. Why is that? All the information's out there. People know what they could do. It's like, yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
We got to go beyond that and go, why don't people do what they do?
Or how?
Yeah, well, why don't they do it?
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know how to do it. Maybe they don't know what to do next. Maybe they do, but, there's all these other factors. We could have a whole show on that. Maybe we'll do another show on that where we break that down in a non-boring way, but information's everywhere, and I think the fact that information is so cheap makes it less valuable to us. Let's be honest, I go to masterminds where all the information presented at that mastermind I can find on the internet.
Yeah.
But I'm paying a lot of money to be in a mastermind. But then again, I'm paying for somebody to tell me the information I need and lay it out for me.
Yeah,
but because I've invested money into it, that information becomes much more valuable, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh man, I've done a course, the one, and then invested heavily in it. Then I got a lifetime membership, and since it's been a lifetime membership with that one-time payment, I don't fuck all with it. So it's also having the community standpoint. Like you were saying, I think there's things around information that make it more accurate and more worthwhile and more useful in converting that into something that is an actionable step or something that is something that can improve your life, innit?
Yeah.
And you know this is something else you've done. We're so bombarded with information, it actually kills our own narrative. Our own inner monologue.
Well, talking to Mark about this off camera, I was like, you know what, about mentor and stuff. I said, I haven't had a mentor for over a year. And by that, I mean somebody who I'm bouncing things off and working quite closely with. But actually on purpose, because I just want to find my own patterns a bit. I want to make sense of things myself, like somebody kind of steering the ship, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to do that. And it's made me a little bit more intuitive and making me think and feel more for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been through that period the last 6 months. As you said, you had a conversation about, my style at the time on being on social medias, and I just felt that's what I was doing, just trying to keep up with the Joneses to a degree and the information that you're getting and what works, what doesn't. And we're saying you got to put value in it. And I was like, no, fuck this. I need to start again. I need to go back to the drawing board and really think about the message that I want to put out there. And to do that, I had to silence most of the things that were giving me the streams of information. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, get away.
And
I think that's the thing in life, when you get away from something.
Yeah.
And you get out the noise.
Yeah.
You start to get a sense of
Yeah, it's hear yourself.
what you need to hear.
Of course.
But you can't hear what you need to hear when it's constantly being bombarded with noise.
Yeah.
I had that again in the summer going away on that break for a few weeks. All of a sudden you're like I feel like I'm hearing what I'm about.
I feel that. I'm at that stage, especially coming back from Scotland, because it was like that, you know, them environments. And I come back, I was like, I fucking feel great, man. I feel clear. You're just away from a lot of the stimulus that we have, a lot of the noise that is on a day-to-day. Being out in nature, climbing up Ben Nevis, being with your family, you know, even no reception, playing fucking karaoke with a talented guitarist or log fire on, you're gonna tap into those senses, innit? You know what I mean?
Novelty, mate. Get out there, get the novelty. So I think, going back to rounding this all into a
round it up, boy.
This is sickly in the sense. Third places are crucial. It's like, where's my third place?
Yeah,
do I have one?
Bang on.
You know, no man's an island. Nobody's an island. And some people are wired to be massively social, some aren't. But don't forget that we're all wired. Life's easier when we have people around us we can trust and we support. And that takes two-way. We've got to build that. Yeah. You know, ourselves. It's not just coming from the outside. Third places are crucial, without a doubt, I would say. What else have we discovered?
Don't let ever a coach tell you what to do.
Yeah,
especially when it's to leave your wife.
Yeah, well, I think sometimes it's like, I think good coaching should be
showing them, guiding them.
Yeah, I know there's a time for mentoring, do this, do that. There is, I think, in certain practical things, but in things like that, in matters of the self, rather than hey, move, look after yourself.
Yeah,
you know, you should get some breathing in, but then actually like.
The decision side of them,
decisions for people, I think, is dangerous. And sometimes we want people to make decisions for us.
Of course.
And I think actually it's going to be that's a slippery slope, I think.
Well, it's not worked well for me.
No, not me personally. Although I've never let anyone make a decision for me, I don't think.
Well, the other side I was thinking, sorry, I got confused, was coming home and me trying to be in the other side of trying to tell my wife of things. And helping even from a place of love. Hey, look, what the fuck's wrong with me? What do I need to change?
Yeah.
Because one of the first things we say to most, you know, who comes into our environments and get on our courses and trainings is, and I say this from the beginning, like ultimately the respect starts here because you've had to be honest with yourself. No, you know, you might have been told, but you've now accepted some shit needs to change or improve. Yeah. That is the hardest step. But it's the necessary step to make things happen. No one told you to make that step. And if they have, you probably didn't make the step. You probably took a step backwards. Yeah. But now that you've been honest with yourself, which it takes a lot of strength and courage to accept that, you know, now you know where you're at. And that's where you start making a difference, right?
Yeah, I think it's tempting to want to dive in and save the people we care about.
Of course.
But we need their permission, really. It has to be a two-way conversation. And we've got to be mindful that we're not trying to save people for our own
needs and wants.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because maybe we know better if they're young, etc. But it's that like, it's a tricky. I always think when it comes back to this stuff, and people always think this is some kind of pitch for coaching, but it's not. I think you've got to figure out what relationship you're in, and for some people, you know, emotional support's great. Like you need that in your life, a partner.
Yeah.
You know, who can support you through thick and thin is wonderful. Or people, those intimate relationships who love you for who you are.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we need to do. Love people for who they are.
Yeah.
But then coaching is because we don't have that emotional attachment, we can step back and say, well, we can help you, and we can coach you, and we can challenge you because, you know, you want to change and I want to help you. I don't think you can blur those two lines. I've tried that. I've tried to coach friends. I've tried to coach people I care about, people I love, and it's just shite for everybody.
It's very difficult.
You know, you're not like I'm sitting having a coaching conversation with you, but when you go into coach mode, it's like I probably just need a friend, or a partner, or a parent. They don't need a coach in their ear, but it's very hard to switch it off when it's
in this profession.
And you're like, nah, I just want to, I want to help you. So yeah, man, I think that's key. We've covered a lot. We've overshot the mark. How long have we been, Mark? 34 minutes.
Nah, I think
Ben, I always ask you if you want to add anything before we go. But if I do, you got to do it in the style of Mike Tyson. Oh, man.
No, maybe for another time. Yeah, I have to. It has to just come out. Everyone's like going to be leading up.
What about Rocky? Yo, Mick.
No, I've never done Mickey. Mickey. I'm still getting you, Mickey. Rocky, Mickey. I'm going to watch. I'll tell you what, one thing I'm learning from this now, I'm going to go and watch the Rocky.
Which is your favourite Rocky?
I don't know which one it is, but the Dolph Lundgren one.
We all know him by the baddies, don't we? I know we're meant to be finishing up.
Can't remember.
but,
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
But they almost he did that. He made
He was like the big fucking Terminator.
there was this
wasn't
baddie,
it?
like there was Mr. T, this outlandish baddie in a way. Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, Mr. T, I
baddie.
forgot about him. He was great.
Rocky
What
3.
a character.
Rising up back
Yeah.
on the street.
All them tunes. Everyone do
my
the Rocky on
time.
the dance floor. Remember them family dues, Christmas dues?
Yeah.
I played Tina Turner, you know, Rolling.
Rolling,
Yeah.
rolling.
Yeah, and he all started doing that.
on the
Hey,
river.
listen, there was 8-year-old women in the corner, fucking rolling it out. Yeah. Oh, she was great, wasn't she?
Yeah, anyway, we're going on now, but do you know what? Next time, you got to sing a song.
Maybe.
What would you sing if you had to sing a song?
I'll have to get back to you on that one.
What would
I'll tell you what.
Mark,
you
you're
put it on
behind the camera.
piano.
People have to see you soon. What would you sing if you had to sing a song, karaoke?
Roots by Sepultura.
Who?
Who the fuck is that guy?
He's one of them cool music people that
Is
knows
he?
the people you don't know the people of, Mark.
Yeah,
I
like
would
real
sing-
musicians.
Yeah, he's like, Sepultura. Who?
I'm not really a singer. I'm a
Sepultura.
rapper.
Sepultura.
Sepultura.
Roots.
I'm going to listen to
Sepultura.
this on the way home.
Oh, is it?
Oh, this is some metallic, like...
It's his hardcore, is it? Do you know, I would probably sing something like, I'd sing a Bruce Springsteen song.
I knew it'd be Bruce, or maybe Johnny Cash.
I'd probably sing Beautiful Disguise. The greatest song ever written on psychology and relationships.
Really?
Oh, God, we've been too long now. God, we've got to get out of here.
We'll wrap it up, man.
We'll wrap it up.
We'll
but
bring it out an intro
that
next
brings
time.
me
You and
to-
the piano and me sing that song. I'll go for it. I'll do Bruce, you do the piano, yeah?
I can
Mark
only
can
play
do the
one
drums.
Bruce Springsteen song on piano.
Well, I'll sing that one.
But yeah, it's
That can be the next episode.
it's
To the next episode.
tougher than the rest.
Well, rings a bell.
Good night.